So I have a feeling that the next few days, or maybe weeks, I'll be doing a lot more of these. They helped me a lot last year when we broke up for the first time. Well, not for the first time, for the last time. And when my mom had a stroke. So, that's good. And I'm hoping they helped other people too. That's what I'm going for here. I am happy for him. It's just like it hurts so much. And like, I mean, I know the best way to deal with it is to let myself feel it. It's hard though. It's really hard. Because I don't want to. Really don't want to. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to accept it. I don't want to feel it. But those are all wants, right? Those are preferences. And preferences of what do these things to us. It's attachment, right? That's what Buddhism would call an attachment. And I am attached. I was listening to Living from a Place of Surrender. I was doing that for the last couple of days, and it just hurts. It hurts. All around here, it hurts. What was I gonna say about living from a place of surrender? I don't remember, but there's another Michael Singer thing. I remember him saying, like, you know, like when someone leaves, like, it's not don't get upset, but don't cling. You like, cause, you know, like, your friend's already leaving. And that's the way we ended things. We ended things, I mean, not even as friends. We ended things as people who love each other very, very much. You know, and the timeline was kind of short. But it had to be that way. Okay. The point here, right, is to feel the pain, to allow yourself to feel it. And to let it just happen, rather than pushing it away. And then relax and release, right? That's the big thing. Feel it. Observe it. It's there. It's really there. And relax and release it, right? Just, you gotta keep relaxing and releasing. I was so grateful when I discovered Michael Singer right after Abram and I broke up for the first time. Well, last time. I keep saying the first time. As though this was a breakup. The last time we broke up. Because we hadn't broken up a lot, but we had almost broken up a lot. Because he got so overwhelmed with his mother telling him that he had to, like, go get married and whatever. And he's just... I stopped talking about what a great person he is, because that's not helping. He is a great person, though. Right? This is heartbreak. And everybody has to deal with it. And one of the things Michael Singer was saying, maybe this wasn't what I wanted to tell you about, but another thing is, like, sorry, I gotta kind of wipe my nose. Otherwise, you guys will see snot, and I don't want you to see that. That's like the one thing I don't want you to see. Everything else I'm okay with. My hair is a mess. My face is blotchy. You see my tears. It's my snotty nose that I don't want you to see. But one of the things he says is we have a heart and we should be grateful for it. And the problem is that we don't like some of the notes that it plays, right? Because our heart is like a symphony, and it makes life richer, right? And more beautiful, more worth it. You know, like he talks about how, you know, a movie without a score would be a completely different experience. Score carries the emotional through line of the movie, right? It just adds so much, and your heart is like the score of your life, right? The soundtrack of your life, almost. Like it plays all these notes, and it makes life. There are notes that are hard. There are notes that are hard, you know what I mean, that aren't pleasant. But he says that you should be grateful for them, and that be amazed that you can feel them. Like, yeah, sure, they're hard. They're hard. They're uncomfortable. They're difficult. But just be amazed at the fact that they're there and enjoy feeling them. Like, be amazed that you can. Not enjoy in the sense of like, oh, yay, he's married somebody else. Just like, wow, this depth of emotion, it's really, really sad. I'm feeling really sad. And that sadness and that grief are beautiful, and they are. Right? The sadness and the grief are beautiful. They just really hurt. And I think that comes also, you can see the beauty in it if you accept the situation that's causing it. Or at least that's how it seems to me right at this moment. Right? Like, because I can't see this as beautiful until I accept the situation, which I do. Oh my God. And it's not exactly regret. It's just mourning, right? It's mourning for what could have been. I mean, we would have been together if it hadn't been for the fact it's not even my race or my race or my religion that was a problem for the mom. The you know, Egyptian culture, whatever. The problem was that the mother was 6 months older than the father, and the father was terrible, right? Her husband was awful. She had a horrible experience in her marriage, and she was 6 months older. So she's decided that her children cannot, like her son cannot be younger than his wife. And he's 10 years younger than me. And that's why we had to break up. Excuse me. Otherwise, we'd be married. We would have been married. But instead, we had to break up, and he had to marry. He got to marry, right? I mean, I've seen the pictures. They're in love, and I'm very grateful for that, because I want him to be as happy as he can be in this life. I really, really, he deserves all the happiness in the world. And I want that for him. So I hope that they have a wonderful, wonderful life together. It just hurts. It just really hurts. And, but I mean, he did break up with this woman to be with me. Anyway, I've told that story about 3 times now. So, anyway, the point is, the feeling, the knowledge that he married her, right? They're married. He's married. She's his wife. He's her husband. Someone else's husband. And the grief I feel because of that is very real. Very palpable. But also beautiful, right? Because if I hadn't loved him, I wouldn't be feeling it. And I did love him, and he did love me so much. We had such a wonderful thing together, so of course I'm going to grieve it, right? Of course this is how I'm going to feel. It's not like I can feel any other way. And this is just something I have to deal with. This is just something I have to accept. The fact that I'm hurting. It's just something I have to accept. And it's gonna be there for a while. Fucking sucks though. Relax and release. It does really suck. Because we could have had a life. But you know what? We couldn't have, because that's not how it ever could have been. Because reality is reality. And his mother is his mother. And that's just how it had to go. At least we had what we had. We had what we had, and it was beautiful, and I'm grateful for it. And what we had to end the way it did. And it has to be the way it is now. In order for it to have happened. To have been what it was. Because honestly, we would have had a great relationship anyway. But the time we spent together was so precious because we knew it would end. And we knew that we didn't know when. The days kept moving. You know, we'd decide one day, and then, you know, a week before that day, you'd be like, no, I don't want you to leave. All right, I won't leave. You know? But we treasured every moment with each other. And that's why, because we knew it would end. So, in order to have that beautiful, beautiful relationship, it has to have been what it was. And it, like, you know, the thought that just stopped me right there was like, yeah, but couldn't we have had that and enjoyed all that time together and like knowing it was going to end, and then like in the end after we broke up, couldn't he have just turned around and been like, no, I'm going to marry her? Couldn't that have just happened? Couldn't that have been the way it happened? No, it couldn't have. It couldn't have. We had what we had because of what it was, the nature of what it was, which was temporary. I didn't want to admit that, and there were a bunch of times where he didn't want to admit it either. I mean, we were almost a year ago, right? So 11 months ago. 11 and a half months ago, almost a year. We saw each other for the last time and spent the weekend together before he moved down to New Jersey. Holding each other and looking, like, gaze. I remember so clearly the look on his face, like just looking into each other's eyes and telling each other how much we loved each other. And then he left, and we talked to each other a couple more times. And then he left for Cairo, and we both knew. I mean, like, he called me before he did. He wanted to make sure everything, like, I was settled and everything was okay. And, you know, I said to him, so you're probably gonna get engaged, huh? And he was like, he didn't really answer, and I was like, okay, yeah, you are. And, you know, within a couple of months he was. He went down there. The last time we texted was Thanksgiving, just before he went down, or just after he went, well, over, not down. And then he spent a couple of months there, got engaged. And then got married this week, 2 weeks ago. That's just how it happened, though. That's just the way it is. And that's something, when things like this happen, it's something you have to accept. In the past, I've never been good at accepting reality. It was never a thing that I was like, yeah, okay, reality, we're cool. You know, it was always me against reality. Me trying to fight it, me trying to change it. And that's something Michael Singer talks about a lot. Like, everything, if everything on the outside has to match Sorry, it's like I have flashbacks. I remember things so clearly. I remember things so clearly. Being together, the place where we lived. I mean, it was a little shithouse, but I loved it because we were there together. So, this is what happened, though. This is the way that life went. This is how it happened. This is what happened. This is the story that happened. And it's good. It doesn't feel good. But I'll get over this. It doesn't feel like that right now. It does not. But I will. And this is actually much better than I've ever been with other breakups, right? Not that this was a breakup. We were already broken up, right? It's just I just always thought there was not really, but there was part of me that was holding out, hoping that whatever. Yep, I'm really good at denying reality. Really good at denial. But that's over now. That's not happening. It's not. I've seen pictures of their wedding. I've seen video of them dancing. And he's happy, and I'm glad. And I'm repeating myself now. But point is, pain, right? Inevitable. If everything on the outside has to match the way you want it to be on the inside for you to be happy, you're never going to be happy. And that's not just for little things, that's for big things too. Like this. And I can learn from this. And I can grow from this. I'm a little out of practice, to tell you the truth. This time last year I was doing this like all the time. I was very, very in touch and very aware of it, the growth potential, and now it's just like I haven't been practicing the way I used to practice. And it's not as easy to see. But let's start practicing, right? Let's just relax and release. It hurts right here, all around here, and out here in the aura. But that's okay. I accept it. He's married. And that's okay. And I'm grateful for him being happy with her. That's what I would want. If we can't be together, I want him to be happy with whoever he ends up with. And he's ended up with her, and they're happy. So I'm grateful for that. I really am. He deserves everything. But enough about him. This is the thing, right? I think too much about him and his feelings. I gotta think more about me and what's going on with me, because he's no longer my business, and he hasn't been for over a year. Like almost a year and a half, really. Right? His feelings aren't my business. Oh, that hurts. They're not, though. And really the only person's feelings who I need to be, or one should be thinking about right now, is one's own, right? This isn't about the other person, it's about me. It's not about the other person. It's about me dealing with these emotions. And I am dealing with them. There's a whole lot of sadness in there, though. There's a whole lot of sadness. It goes really deep. And it's really there. And it's permeating a lot. But I'm going to relax and release. I'm going to go back to work. And just our relationship, I'll always have that loving, beautiful thing that is in my heart and will always be there, and in my mind. even though I kind of have to let it go. I'll always have that love though, and that's the part. Sorry. Yeah, I'm using towels. I'm out of tissues. And that's what we gotta do, right? Relax and release. Realize that these things, look, reality is what reality is, whether or not we like it. And it really doesn't matter. It's not like reality is bad because I don't like it. It's reality and I don't like it. That doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean it's not the way it should be. Just because I don't like it does not mean it's not the way that it should be. And that's true. Right? That's hard sometimes to come to terms with. Something's the way that you don't like it. It doesn't mean it shouldn't be that way. This is the way it should and has to be and had to be. I just don't like it. And that's my problem. And that's what I have to let go of. That's what I have to let go of. Not the love. My feelings about my attachment, really. That's really one of the things that just popped in my head that Michael Singer talks about a lot, or talked about, that really, when the first time I heard it, kind of nailed me, was like, you don't work on the situation. You don't work. The place that you work is the desire to do something about it. That's what you let go of. It is the way it is, and it's supposed to be this way. I don't like it, but you know what? The universe has been here for like 14 billion years, and it started out as plasma, right? Quantum fluctuations and whatever. I gotta blow my nose again in this huge towel that has my nose blowings in it all over the place. Okay. It's like a giant blue fluffy handkerchief. The universe has been here for a long time, and everything that happens, everything the way it is now, everything had to happen the way it happened. You know, atoms had to form, chemicals had to form, stars had to form, planets had to form, you know, the galaxy had to expand, all this stuff, and all these things had to come together to make every constituent part of everything that I'm looking around at in my life where my focus is, right? There's so much more life going on other than just what is happening with that, right? I mean, that's one thing. But it's the thing that has my attention. It's the thing I'm focusing on, which is why it's right there. So I need to realize it's there. Oh God, like so many memories of us being happy together. Like so many memories of us being happy together. And they were beautiful, and I can be grateful for them. I really just want to be okay on my own. I don't want to have to need anybody. I want to be love, not because of somebody. I want to feel love, not because of somebody, just because that is what it is. That life is love, and that's when your spirit's flowing, that's what you feel. That's what I want. I don't want to get into another relationship not feeling that. But, so anyway. So there are lots of things to be grateful for. I'm going to go back to work. I hope I've given you some food for thought. And I'm sure I'll be back soon. But I am grateful. I'll always be grateful for that relationship. I'll always be grateful for that relationship. Even if it had to end, even if it's causing this pain, I will always be grateful. I will never wish that away. So I will take this pain and I will deal with it, because if I didn't have it, it meant I wouldn't have had that. And I would never give that up. No matter how much it hurts. Why are there ants everywhere? All right. So I'm grateful for that. And I just want you to remember there are things, no matter what your predicament, that you can be grateful for. So remember, you can always choose to have a grateful day.